Come again to another knowledge, spitting knowledge, exploring the truth. We're here again on the Naked Truth on Skunk HTV. So we're definitely setting up. Today was a good. I mean, the weather is amazing. So of course, we give thanks for that. We give thanks for every day these days, man, that we're living. It's amazing. We're alive and we have to be grateful. Glory unto you, Almighty Father, for bringing us to this point. In time as we're here today. Sorting out the problems. In the world, or sorting out the problems that we're facing today. So we are definitely grateful we're here. Welcome everyone. Everyone that's tuning in, welcome. Welcome to welcome to Skunk H TV, and we're streaming the Naked Truth. And I hope you guys can call in, because the number is 347-676-0853. That's the number to call if you are willing to have a conversation about certain topics that we're going to discuss. As we said, we are dealing with the truth here on the Naked Truth. So this is where there's no clothing, there's no there's no pride, there's nothing. It's just plain and simple truth. So we want you guys to just stay with us as you guys come into the chat and make we get things rolling. We're vibing here, as you know it. Nothing is better than love, man, and we can feel the vibration of love every time we're here. It's on the Naked Truth, and we attack. Pardon me, you see me looking to the side. I'm trying to pull up some information so we can get things cracking. So I am here in the studios, feeling good today, man. Everything is good. The weather is good. We have to be grateful for life. Give thanks for life and all the things around us. I'm pretty much grateful myself. I am here doing another round, in this amazing place. So, and thank you for tuning in. I am good, man. Oh, they didn't. We gotta. I believe that they took it down to probably edit and to put back up. So much respect to you, T Walls. So much respect to you, and for showing us that it's not. We're going to definitely look into that, but I believe it's taken down to edit and to go back up. So do go for that. Thanks to everybody, man. Thanks to everyone that's joining in today. We're gonna chit chat about a lot of things, as we have to reiterate, many of the topics that we talk about, for the simple fact that we want, newcomers or people who are just coming into, to the session to get to be more informed on what we're saying. Or some people don't really go back to the videos to sit and to really watch. So if they're on the live and we can talk and have a dialogue on the live, I mean, it's all good, So we're definitely we're definitely looking forward to that. So as I said, I am grateful, man, and I'm here with you guys out there and everybody that's tuning in. We're feeling very good. What's the difference between they're giving me an answer, a question already. Let me see the question again, so that we can get into our topics. We're here today. We're ready to talk. We are ready, to fill What's the difference between sin and mistakes? That's a good one. The difference between sin and the mistakes. Well, sin, we know what sin is, right? And according to the Bible, sin is transgressing the law, right? So the Most High, the creator of this vast universe and this earth, right? He have rules, as rules are regulated everywhere, right? Rules are important. You can't go around them. And this is why when the Bible speak about faith, and people said you don't need faith, you need to believe, and that's it. No, there are rules. The sun comes out at a certain time. The moon comes out at a certain time. When the time for the clouds to come to cover the sky and cover the sun and to prove its power over the other elements, it does so. When there's rain come and prove his power over the other element, it does. The sea stay in its place where God ordained it to be. It stay there. Don't spill over on the land. And it keeps everyone safe, right? So there are rules that has to be followed. The birds, they flew out early in the morning. They go look for worm. They go hunt for food, and they go back in at a certain time. It's time to rest. It's time to sleep and rejuvenate and prepare for the next day. So rules are very important, right? So the Most High put things in place, and these rules are to be followed. Right? If you look around, nature doesn't fall out of place. Men fall out of place because they have all different types of thinking towards life. And they're basing it on their feelings, right? So you understand that it's very difficult, to understand when you have a society that promotes a certain thing. And when that thing has been promoted in this society, people have been programmed by that. It's ridiculous. But what's the difference between sin is because the rules are there, right? And the rules have to be kept. So when you break the rules, there are consequences to breaking those rules. You understand? Now, a mistake is different. If you intentionally done something, then you have to be held accountable for it, right? If you broke the rules, intentionally breaking the rules, then you have to pay it. But if there's an accident that you wasn't aware of it, and you end up doing something and it's not intentional, it was just by mistake, what you call mistake or error, is just wasn't intentional, and that happens, then that's why the Bible spoke about there's a place where you can go. Someone accidentally get killed, like you're playing with your friends, and you didn't mean to do that. It's not in your heart to cause harm to him, but somehow he got hurt, and there is a place for that. So the Most High understood that it's not an intentional thing that you end up killing a friend or a brother or a sister. If you're playing and it may be rough, a little too rough, get out of control, somebody got hurt, there was a place to go. And not in this society, whether it's a mistake or not. By the time they deliberate your case and they might find you guilty and charge you, give you some time to do. It wasn't so in the ancient times, right? For the Israelites, they would have to go to a land. There was a land differently from where they lived for those people. And you have to stay there for a while until the family, forget about whatever happened, or those who relating to this person forget about it. Then you're able to come back into the fold. So this is what it was. But sin is transgressing the law. It means that if you break the law, that is sin. And the laws were given to Israel, right? So they are the only ones who could break the law. The other nation didn't get the law. The law wasn't given to them. It was given to a particular group of people, and they have to live by this law. So if they broke the law, that would be sin for them, right? If it's an accident, like something happened unintentional, then, you can't be sin for that. You won't be sin for that. You won't be charged for that in God's eyes, right? In the Creator's eyes. But in this society, you will be charged for that. Based on, maybe evidence, maybe video evidence, or, whatever witness or whoever, you might be charged for it and do some time. maybe you wouldn't do a lot of time, but I have seen people do years for a mistake. I remember that kid. I don't know if you guys remember him. He did what they call that, a pile drive on his little brother, and he was about 12, and they sent him what, life? I think life imprisonment he got. That was very cruel for a 12-year-old. Said that he intentionally knew and he did it anyway. But you know, they deal with black kids. I hope you guys are paying attention to that. He had to do 20 something years. If it was someone else, they would have been pardoned, right? Oh, well, it's a mistake. He didn't intentionally do it. We're going to get definitely into that. But that's basically what, as the question was asked, what is the difference between sin and mistakes? So that's what it is, Sin is you breaking the law, deliberately doing that. You understand? A mistake is not you intentionally doing it because you're not aware, or you weren't aware of what your actions are, but it happens. You cannot be held accountable for that. At least the Most High, the Creator, wouldn't, hold you accountable for that. So that's the difference between that. And I hope, I edified that good enough for you, so you understand that. Yeah, my people. So, we're here, and everyone is good, man. Everybody's good. Everybody's doing well, and I hope your family as well is doing great, man. And thank you for, for asking, and concerning about that. Of course, everyone is good, man, and I hope you are good as well. You've been with us for a while now, man, and we definitely thank you for your presence. We're becoming a family. As you know, we have to start somewhere. In this place, man, it's hard. You can see that for yourself. I mean, nobody has to tell you how this society works. It's very difficult for any of us, and for us as a group of people to overcome this. We have to come together. And as I said before in other videos, separation is the best thing for us. So we have to learn how to separate ourselves. We have to. So I was listening to a program recently where I believe it's online. They were debating the Bible and the Israelites, and there was an African guy who called him, because the Hebrew Israelites. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with them. They have different camps throughout United States, even in England. They're expanding basically. So the African guy, the thing with Israel is that everyone now, because Israel is not in power and they're scattered everywhere, they're not a nation anymore because of the sin that they caused, or the sin that is upon them, and the curse that is upon them. So they're not in their own land. They're living amongst the Eden now, and the Gentiles, and they surely are practicing Gentiles' custom. So the misunderstanding that's happening around this whole Israelite movement and who are the true biblical Israelites, it's a lot of misconception, because Christianity tries to change the narrative of that truth. And you can call this replacement theology, because that's what they're doing. And now Christian become the root, and God's people and the real Hebrew Israelites been dismissed and pushed aside. So it's very tough when you're studying and when you're learning or trying to understand what the truth is. And this is why before I told you guys that this book is great. This book, it has some good information there, and as I said before, but not everything here you should take for face value. And a lot of people does. And when you do that, you are going to be deceived. This book was compiled not by you. And even if it was by you at a certain time, you have to understand it fall into the hands of your enemy. What would they do with it? As you can see, what they tell you about angels being white, the devil being black, If a black cat run across the road, it's bad. Everything black is bad, right? So you have to understand that these people have an inherent hatred for you. So definitely they wouldn't have written everything in here. But remember, there are things that they had to pass over because they didn't anticipate that you would have ever been freed from being a slave, that you would have always been. They didn't anticipate their future in any way. So they didn't know that you would have, what book? They didn't know that you would have, you would have learned to read, especially academia, and able to function on your own, learning different things about yourself, and even analyzing the Bible. And I'm talking about the Bible, what they call the Holy Bible. I believe we have spoken about this in some other videos. So we're talking about the Holy Bible, what they call the Holy Bible, and how this is misrepresented. It's been perverted, right? So you have to understand, taking this book first, you need to understand that not everything inside here is true, and that the enemy change the narrative to suit themselves. So opening this book, you have to open it, literally saying to yourself, okay, I'm not going in this to learn based on what I tell myself that I already know. You have to have an open mind getting into this. And when you do, you will read and you will absorb the information and the truth and the lies that is there, and you'll be able to filter what you need to filter out. You'll be able to dissect, and you'll be able to separate what is truth and what is not. So it's very important. It's very important. So the confusion, as I was saying, between, people who take this book for face value, and people who wanting, desire this place, what they call heaven, and desire to be a chosen people unto the Creator. But we have to understand, not everyone was chosen. And it's a problem to people who, I guess, for those who are chosen, it's not a problem to them, right? But for those who didn't, have a problem with it. And they only have a problem because the people that were chosen are no longer in the position, you understand me, to prove themselves or to show themselves. So you have other people who taking advantage of the opportunity, like, oh, Israelites are not here. Why not say that we are the Israelites? How are they going to know? We're in power now. How are they going to get power again? Because the people who think this way do not believe in the Creator. They don't believe that there's a prophecy. They don't believe that anything will change. They believe that in this earthly desire that they have, they will succeed or successfully maintain their power over these people. So it's a problem. So as I was listening to this debate with this African guy, he's trying to find his way. I was asking basic questions on how, John 3:16, and I'm sure there were other scriptures that you were asking, and Paul, and because he wanted to go in, like, because the Israelites have this doctrine. When I said the Israelites, I'm talking about these camps that they have with the Hebrew Israelites. They have a certain doctrine that not everybody is welcome unless you are a bloodline descendant. And so they basically talk against the Africans, the Asians, white, different groups of people who are not of, the Israelite descent, or what they think is not of the Israelite descent. They talk against them, Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, definitely variation of it, man. So many. Exactly. And the versions are very altered. And you're right. This is why, we have to, dedicate ourselves to study. And the book even tell us that the spirit of the truth, which the world do not accept. So we have to learn this. And we begin to see by adding up reading this book, to in its entirety, studying and analyzing and picking sense out of nonsense. Basically, not just we've been spoon fed by our slave masters what to believe, and unfortunately, our ancestors before were victim of that. And because they were victim, they were indoctrinated. This inherited teaching, was passed down to us. Many of you go to church. Why? Because you were forced into the church. You were forced to become Christians. So you had to go to church with your grandmother, your mother, sisters, members, because this was the place for salvation for you. Or you think this is what it was. So many people would go to church because it's an inherited thing, and it wasn't inherited because our culture passed this idea down from generation to generation to generation. No, it was someone who forced this ideology upon our people. And because of that, we end up inheriting these negative, whatever it was, right? We inherit that without questioning the authenticity of what this religion was, or was it good for us? We didn't care. We just know, oh, well, God, and I mean, you have to be real, right? You have to be real. To say that, yeah, God save and this Jesus that these people keep worshiping for, let's say about 50 years now, and nothing changed for them. Nothing. Sister Miriam, she had cancer. They prayed for her. They had sermons. They prayed. Oh my goodness! They go to the hospital. They pray to Jesus and they call Jesus but there is actually a scripture in the Bible that said, "Ask anything in my name and it shall be given." But that name that they're asking it in, they seems not to get it. That means you have to question that, right? After a while, for 50 years, you're asking for this and it never happened. And I understand a lot of people. They succeed in life and they attribute their success to God or to Jesus. They said it's Jesus. But then the Bible already told us, by your work you shall get paid. None of these things are denied from us as long, as we're doing good. As long as we are working to what we want to achieve in the physical world, we will get it. But yes, we feel happy and elated, right, when we accomplish something. So of course we said, oh, it's because of the Creator why we get it. We can attribute anything to him. So whether or not it's a false deity, right, whether it's an idol God, whatever it is, we can say, oh, God, and we can tag or put this footnote onto anything that we want to, and say it's because of God why we accomplish everything. It's very, warming, right? To say that, and you're honoring the Creator that you acknowledge that there is. The problem is, which God are we talking about? Because there are many gods, right? And beside the name of the Creator is not God. Many people believe that the name of the Father who created all things, is God. No, it's not. That's just a title. See, so we have to get back into what is the name of the Creator. Do we have a name? Because he told Moses when Moses went into Egypt to retrieve the Israelites, right? And he said, tell them that I am sent you, right? I am. No, when these people who took the book, they could change, they changed a lot of things in the book. So we cannot, said yes with certainty and prove that this name I am was any name at all, because the name has been taken out of the book. As you read it, you'll see for yourself. Most of the parts are pages that you read where you see Lord is the name of the Creator, and it's been removed. So the story's been changed, and because you didn't know the original story, so anything you hear would be new to you, and it would be accepted by you, saying, well, this is what I've read, so it's good for me, right? No, yeah, the slave version of the Bible, right? A lot of our parents believe that. I know you know this because if in a lot of homes, especially down south, oh my God, they have this white picture with this guy, which is Caesar Borgia, as whatever his name is, right? One of the Pope's son that Michelangelo had a painting of him, and they put this up in the church during the early 1816. They begin to put these images in the churches, right? So our parents, our grandparents have these images in their homes, right? Even the cross today, still with this white guy with a hold in his hands, and I don't know, but we've been brainwashed with that to believe that. You have to understand that a person of white descent, I don't want to say European descent, right, who managed to overthrown the darker race of people, the melanated people, would have never given you something or tools to make you aware of yourself. And this is why I don't understand why, and I'm talking about descendants of slaves, people who were born here in the West Indies, America, should be taking information from these people wholeheartedly, like, yes, it's true. It's validated. What they say is true. When they are the one who corrupted our ancestors. They corrupted our parents, and they're corrupting our kids with false doctrine. False doctrine, man. So how could we sit and be careless like this, as if we have no sense? We're absorbing everything they say because they say this, and see what they have done is they make you think that academia is the standard of a person's intelligence. and not only that, they went a step further. They said they created an IQ system and used that to measure their intelligence again. So and guess what? The IQ system is not just shown to you at the first hand, right? And you believed it, and you could just resolve it. It's something that you have to study, because academia is just a recipe. It's not the standard of someone's intelligence. If you know what intelligence is, it's just a recipe that you learn in a particular thing. That's all it is. But we take everything that they say for face value. So we're always back in the line. We're always back in the line. Instead of, we should be moving ahead, we're moving backwards. Because, to fix this problem, you have to think, how are we going to fix? Because the older generation would not accept the truth. This is why even when the Israelites left out of Egypt, and they were in the wilderness for 40 days, this wasn't 40, it was like 40 years, right? 40 years and 40 nights in the wilderness. And the Most High looked at them and said, you know what? You guys here, man, you're not going to see the promised land. None of you. So everybody that was living adults during that time, the Most High spoke to them and said, you're not going to see the promised land. You're all going to die here, and your children will be the one to inherit. Why did he say that? Because they would not accept the new doctrine. They would not accept it. They wouldn't. They wouldn't accept the idea that they needed to change, and there is a new law. There's a new rule now. They keep reflecting on the times when they were in Egypt. It's just like now with our elders. They're not going to accept. Tell you think I'm lying? Go to any home now. Just walk through the neighborhood, knock on the doors and ask them some question. Why they believe in Christianity, and do they think Jesus is going to say? They're going to tell you, yeah, Jesus, I love Jesus. He's my everything. They've been indoctrinated to the point that they cannot see what the truth is. You have to understand this. So there is no way they're planning to change themselves. As I said, you can't teach a whole dog new tricks. So you can't teach old dog new trick, basically. So you have to dismiss this idea from out your head. They're not going to change. So the Most High, when he said like Israel will be saved, but not everyone, a lot of them will die before there's a new idea. Before this new idea, begin to take hold of the people, the older folks that are living, who maintain these idol worshiping and all of these things, they're gonna die out. And it's very harsh when you say this to the weak-hearted and the people who don't know the truth. But this has to happen for changes to come, because they won't change. They won't take this. How could we get together and talk about the Creator in its proper context when you have people who are carrying, the poison, inheritance, right, from another group of people who indoctrinate their ancestors, right? How is this going to work? How will this work? It won't. It won't work. It means that there will be a division among the people. If we're saying, okay, black people are getting together, and we know that the blacks in America and the Caribbean are the Israelites, right? But their religious belief is what's going to create this wedge between them. Because they're going to think, because they're holding on to what was taught to them by someone else, not what they know, not what they teach themselves, not what their ancestors taught them, what the enemy taught them. That's what they carry on with this great pride and value. So it's very difficult. How could we change and say, okay, we're working cohesively as a unit, right? Together. And we're going to call on this one thing. No. Some people are going to say Jesus. Others are going to say God, or whatever name it may be. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. It's a very difficult thing. It's very difficult, for our people to come together. So you have to realize that the Most High is going to sieve through the nations. And he's going to delete those who would create the blockage for the people who are ready to take the new doctrine, because it is a new doctrine. It is a new covenant that's coming. And if you're not ready for it because you're holding on to something that you know not where it's from, you don't know where it's from, you cannot explain the origin of it, but you're holding on to it with such strong belief. And you would fight and defend and even die in the process without knowing, like, what is this? How did our ancestors get this? Is this what we used to do before? No. But the Bible said that we're lost. And we would be discontinued from our heritage. And because of this discontinuation, we as Hebrew Israelites, or we as the chosen people, or the people that the Most High chose to be his people, we are searching for something. We know when we begin to read and understand ourselves and learn about ourselves, we start to feel that there is something greater there. We know that there's a God. We know that there's a creator. I don't want to say God. We know that there is a creator, right? And we're trying to connect to it somewhere, but instead of sitting down and analyzing, right, the information that we're getting, we just swallowed it and said, yeah, this is true. Islam, oh yeah, this is true. This has to be true. Everybody moving. But yet none of these religions have saved us. I'm not lying. When did you pray for something and get it? When did you pray for something and you immediately got it? Never. And I'm saying this, that if anyone out there who has been through this, the lines are open. You can call in and explain that to me. When have you prayed for someone who were sick, they were badly sick, about to die, and they recovered immediately? Never happened. Never happened. Because what you're calling on It's not what your ancestors called on. Remember, the Israelites, if they call the Creator and ask Him for anything, He will do it for them, right? Remember Jericho? Remember Samson and the Philistine? Remember even Egypt? Whenever they call on the Creator, He is coming for them, and He's going to do what? Destroy their enemies. So now that the Israelites been discontinued, don't know themselves, they fall from grace, and the enemy knew about them and knew that if they understand the name of their God, what would happen? Do you think for a second, common sense, do you think that the enemy would have put the name here for you to find it? This name that you can use to evoke judgment on them? Are you crazy? Anybody who think that is delusional, he would never do it. They would never do it. Which enemy would do that? Which enemy would say, okay, well, the gun that's gonna make you the most powerful person, this is where it's buried? They would never teach you that. They will never let you know it. They would never let you know what would make you rule them again and become the number one. They're not going to let you know that. So you're wasting your effort in thinking that it's here. It's not here. You got to find that. The Bible gave us so many clues. So many clues. The Most High know this. Even the Messiah prophesied and said, when Jerusalem is compassed by army, know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Those who are in the city shall flee to the mountains. He prophesied because he knew that a time was going to come when Rome was going to sack Jerusalem and people are going to die. He was warning them about that. He know this. It's prophecy. Let's see. Are all dark-skinned people Israelite? Why it seems all black people suffer, as it says in Deuteronomy? Well, see, that's the point. And that's a very important point. If all black people are Israelite, no, they're not. I can tell you this, that all people that were created by the hands of the Most High are melanated. Every single living thing on the planet has melanin. The ants, the plants, chlorophyll they call it from the plant, the ants, the bird, every single living thing, the trees, everything has melanin. The Most High create these things because they have to survive within the ecosystem under the hottest element in the universe. So if you cannot survive under that, what are you doing here? Do you understand me? So everybody had dark skin. That was and is the standard of what men look like. Dark, melanated people. All of them on the whole entire planet. People that you see today, which are Chinese or Asian, what you want to call them, white, all those people are new people that came in later on. Do you understand me? Later, these people are new people that came later. This is why they cannot stay in the sun. This is why the sun affects them, because they've lost an important part of themselves through leprosy and through the birth. Lose it through birth. You understand me? And through retaining the disease that called leprosy. Right? This is how these people come about. But they will never tell you this. They will never teach you about this in your classrooms, because they don't want to be, the ones that everyone is looking down upon and said, what? These people are nothing. How come they are in power? Right? How are they ruling the melanated people? Do you understand? So it's very complex when you have to break everything down to the smallest atom to find out what the truth is. To go back to the origin, man. So not all black people are of Israel, are not Israelites. We're different tribes, different nations. If you look into Africa, you can tell the tallest people is in Africa. The shortest of people is in Africa. You understand? That's why they say this land, and it wasn't Africa before, but we're just using this term because it's what people know now, right? It is the cradle of civilization. Every single thing that on the planet today came from that region. Everyone that you look at today, the face of everyone came from the melanated people. Every single one of them. And this is what we have to know. This is what we have to teach our kids so they know. And these oral tradition or whatever of written what we want to do, our kids need to know themselves. Because if you don't know where you're coming from, then you don't know where you're going. You know? So not all of us are Israelite, but the nation of people that were created on the planet were all black, but different. So when you talk about Am, Shem, and Japheth, and those names are not even the names of the people because they changed them. But just for the context, right? And edification. Ham, Shem, Japheth, these three sons of Noah, right? All of them were black. And their kids were black, just like them. The oldest human that you want to find, you have to go to Africa to find it. You won't find it anywhere else. You understand? Because the human race. That's why it's called hue. It has to do with color. The human race, right? The human race. All of them were dark, different shades of brown. That's who they were. You understand? There were nothing else beside that. So not all Israel is black. And the second point is why all of them seems as if they're going through the same thing. Why wouldn't they? If there's a new group of people who took over and they knew the Israelites were dark and they blended with the other dark race of people, how would they define? It's just like, for example, if you look at an Asian person and they didn't speak, you think all of them is from China. You think people from Korean are Chinese and people from Japan is Chinese, because Chinese is the most popular area, right? It's the most common area that people know about geographically in the West. So we attribute every Asian looking people or people that look like that to being Chinese. But these people know themselves, among themselves. It was the same thing in the land of what they call Africa today. All of them know themselves. They know that I'm not of that race. They know that they were dark skinned. We share the same melanin because we have to survive in the hottest place, in the hottest climate. So the Most High gave us attributes so that we would survive the elements and it wouldn't harm us. What would be the purpose of making a car if you didn't put it through tests? You know, if you didn't test how fast it could go, if you didn't crash it and see how damaging someone in the car would be. The Most High thought of everything. What, you think he would have put people here who would be weakened by the elements? You think he would have designed someone put here first human to be white, that the sun would affect them and burn and kill them? He would have never done that. So no, not all of us are all black melanated people are of Israel. There were tribes, different tribes of people, all dark skinned, but of this, of different tribes. So definitely, a lot of us, or a lot of other people, or other tribes get caught into the net because there was an important people that they were trying to conquer. There was an important people among the other groups that they needed to have control over, because these people were the ones that they feared. They know these people, if they control them, everything is good. They could reign. They could gain power. But if they don't, these people would rise and destroy them, because they've read about it. They read about it in Egypt. They read about Samson and the Philistine. They read about the Persian captivity, the Greek captivity. They read about all of it. And they know how powerful their God was. And if they didn't control these people and control what they know, it would be dangerous for them. This is why they keep revising and changing. Do you realize that this Bible has been changed over more than any other book? There's not a novel that you know today that someone write and then change the wording. No. If it was a novel from back in the 1800s, the same word, same exact word reprinted. They can't do it with this. They had to analyze and said, no, we need to change it, and just said, no, it's not. It's just the wording, because they're hiding something. Why? They're hiding it. Why, if they are the Hebrew Israelites and are the people of God, are they changing the story of this book? Why are they changing it? If this is true, why has it been changed? It's been changed because it doesn't fit the people that they say it is. So they continue to change. And every year you're going to come, they're going to tell you, oh, we find a new Dead Sea Scroll and it's saying something regarding them. You see that? I mean, come on. So the other groups of black people had to suffer, and it seems like we're going through the same plight because they didn't know who were the Israelites, whether it was this dark group or this guy. How would we know? It's like, and let me use this phrase where they said, if you have some poisonous snake in a hole, just one poisonous snake inside the hole, and the rest of them is non-poisonous. How would you determine which one is which? They all look alike. So either you kill all of them, right? Because you wouldn't go inside it because you don't know which one of them is poisonous. So you know what? Let's kill everybody. This is why they went into Africa and they subjugate the whole land, all of Europe, because they know that there's only one group of people could put an end to their reign. They need to have control of these people. Man, as I said, we're going to go through the history. And when I said the history, I'm talking about where the Israelites were in Europe and different places, and how they fear these people and they know. We're going to go to those history, man, so you can know how they forced them to become Christians. When you read about the crusade and when they talk about the Knights of the Templar, and the Inquisition, what do you think they were doing? Who do you think they were killing? Who do you think they were hunting down? Who do you think? You think it was average Christian like today? No, my friend. It was the Hebrew Israelites. They were looking for them. They were hunting them and wanting them to conform to this new religion. So this is why the other groups of black people fall victim, because the main group, because of them, the other groups around were living and surviving. But when they fall, it's like their country, their borders have been breached. Now, enemies from outside start to come in. They went into the whole land of Africa and subjugated. They took away, they burned civilization, they burned libraries, they burned books. They tried to cover everything up, but they couldn't. Even in Timbuktu, man, they burned books. The people had to bury books underground for them not to find it. You get what I'm saying? So you have to go back to there. You have to go back to your origin, learn the beginning of things to understand this. But so that's why, and I hope this clarified your answer. Yeah. It is, my brother, it's death. It is powerful, man. The sun is the main source of light in the universe. And this is why we have to understand why everyone that lives here has to be protected. Just pay attention. Observe nature itself. The ants, how small the ants is. And the hottest of day, it's crawling outside on the floor. You can't even walk barefooted out there. The ant, the small ant, is crawling out there. Building burrows, looking for crumbs, looking for food. The bird, he's out there flying around in the hottest of heat. He is flying around. So pay attention to this. All of them have melanin. Every single one of them. As every human being on the planet supposed to have. The new people who lost their melanin and took over, they want to change it to make you think that there were people always like them when it's not. That's a lie. Then how they tell who are the real Israelites and who are not? Yeah, good question. Who are the real Israelites and who are not? Well, they wouldn't tell. They couldn't tell who the real Israelites were. Because if you remember, when the Messiah was born, and King Herod seek his life, he had to go to Egypt. If you read through the Bible, it will tell you a lot of times that the Israelite had to go into Egypt for safety, because Egypt was a mega city, and it probably was multicultural. And we say multicultural with different ethnic background. I'm not talking about European and other groups. It was all black people living there from different groups, different tribes. So they would have blended in with these people. So they would go there for safety, for hiding. They would go into this big city. How would you find them? You couldn't. This is why the Bible said that the Israelite blended with the sons of Ham. Who are the sons of Ham? The sons of Ham are dark melanated people. If you go back to the Bible, if you go back to Noah's sons, you have Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? Out of those 3 sons, right? So Ham had 4 sons, right? Which was Canaan, right? It was Cush, it was Mizraim and Put. 4 sons, 4 black sons. So out of the sons of Ham was those people. Remember, Cush is the Ethiopians, right? Put, you have Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt. Mizraim is what modern Egypt, or Lower Egypt, right? And then you have Canaan, which Canaanites are what they call Sub-Saharan African, which are the same dark group of people. They were no different. It wasn't a baby that was born. One was white, one was black, and then the other. It wasn't nothing like. All these people were melanated people. All of them. All of them were melanated. And so when the book tells you that, the Israelites blended with the sons of Ham, it's telling you that you wouldn't find, or you wouldn't notice who they were. This is why Moses could marry to an Egyptian woman. You would tell, because they are dark skinned. It wasn't, there's a white, who they call Moses. That's not his name anyway, but there's a white Moses who marrying to. And if you read the Bible, all of these great men marrying to Ethiopian woman, black woman. Why? What happened to white women? Why aren't they marrying to white women if, these men supposed to be some high pillar in society? But yet they're marrying to black women. What was important about black women that these men find attractive? It wasn't nothing happened. It was because they were marrying to their own kind. You understand me? They fail to hide this part of the history. They think that, they wouldn't question this. Don't worry about it. Leave it there. But the truth is there hidden, man. So you have to find this. So the Israelites are blended with the sons of Ham. And because of this, you wouldn't be able to identify who they were. It was difficult to go into Egypt. If a white person would have gone into Africa, you would have stand out. You would have been the elephant in the room. Everybody would have. You couldn't go to Africa to hide. Why would a white person hiding from his people go to Africa? You couldn't. Why would a black person go to Africa to hide? Because he would blend in with the population of dark melanated people. You couldn't have known who this person were if they went there and blended in. You wouldn't know. So this is how it was then. So they blended in with the sons of Ham. So it was difficult for them to identify who they were. I mean, you could read the Bible yourself and it tells you. From Jeremiah right back to Solomon, they'll tell you. You understand? I am black but calmly, O ye sons, o ye daughters of Jerusalem. And then they changed it, and they when you debate them, they said, when Solomon write in Songs of Solomon, it's Songs of Solomon, right? I am black but calmly, O ye daughters of Zion, Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar. What is the tents of Kedar? You guys have to look that up. It's black tents that are black, jet black. So this person, Solomon, was comparing himself to the darkest of things. How they compare themselves to dark colors, right? They said, I'm black like the tent of Kedar. Why would a white person say that he's black as the tent of Kedar? And why would a white person say, I am black but calmly, I am black and beautiful? Such words, have you ever read a book? Have you read a novel that a white person wrote and he's comparing himself to something black? No. So you have to understand who the history is relating to. So when Solomon says this, this is their narrative. This is their truth based on this scripture. They said, I'm black, but calmly, O we daughters of Zion. They said, the son of tanned me. Pay attention to how they try to be slick to change the scripture. Said, the son of tanned me. But as I'm working in the garden now, this is how they change the scripture to fit, because they realize that, wait. This guy is saying he's black. How do we change this? Now, just pay attention, my friends, my family, my brothers, sisters out there. They're saying that the son of tanned me, right? That's what they're saying. And when you ask them, they say, well, it wasn't Solomon who was speaking, it was his woman. How did you, anybody out there, anyone, whether you're married or unmarried, and if you're documenting your life in your diary, your book, your diary, how did your wife get to write something in your diary, or somebody else get to write a passage in your diary when your diary is your personal thing that you're writing? How did a woman get to write anything inside it? But yet, that's the only thing the woman has said, right? This is what they try to teach us and tell us, to deny what Solomon was saying about himself being black, to understand from a white perspective that he was saying just, I was tanned because I was working in the garden all day, so I become dark. What? Now, you have to go back to scriptures to understand, the true meaning of this. Who was David again? Who was David? They said David was ruddy, right? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? David was ruddy. What do you mean ruddy? Now, if they were all white people living in Egypt at that time, or in Jerusalem at that time, another pale white person would never stand out. Would they stand and say, oh my God, this guy is over ruddy, and then we know what ruddy is. We know ruddy is brown, right? We know that it's brown. So, but they said that's not what it is, according to their Bible scholars and professors. No, ruddy is, if you go on the computer and Google and type ruddy, it's going to show you some pictures of some brown horse, and you're going to see a lot of white people there being ruddy, who are not, their complexion is not even close to what the horse or the bird or the different color look like. So how did they fit the category of ruddy? Ruddy is brown. And in this Hebrew language, if we're going to go to etymology and try to figure out the word ruddy, then we're going to go back to what the truth is, right? They were called ruddy because they were brown. That's the Hebrew word ruddy. You understand? It means red, reddish brown, right? So that's what we're looking at. So they changed it. It would have stand out if you put a lighter person within a group of darker people. Everybody would have seen it. Just like when the leprosy happened, a lot of the people who got it had to leave from out of the land. And this is how they find their way in Europe, in the Caucasus Mountain. They couldn't stay there because, number one, they would have been prosecuted and killed, or the sun would have killed them. So they couldn't stay there. So it wasn't an area where you had a population of white people living at any time. No time whatsoever. There was never once at any point in Egypt, or what they call Egypt today, which was Mizraim, at no point in time in any dispensation that there was a white pharaoh. No time whatsoever had this happen. When the heights of Egypt and the Egyptians were reigning, there was never a white pharaoh there. All the pharaohs were dark melanated people. When the Persians began to come in, they wanted a share of what Egypt was for its riches and, its knowledge and whatever gold they had. This is why these other groups tried to come in. And they were dealt with. And then you have the Cushites, as they try to split the story into, these people were brothers, family members. Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, Ethiopia. These people were family members. So they couldn't be different when you understand the origin of the story. Or when you understand the truth. You understand? When you do understand it, then you'll see. And that's what the truth is. Here on the Naked Truth. You know, and I hope that was fulfilling and satisfying as an answer. Okay, so yeah, they as I said, they wouldn't know what the real Hebrew Israelites is because they blended with the dark, melanated people. So let's get to the other question. So they don't know, definitely. If it's all about Israel tribe, is there many hope of salvation for none elected? And is it true? Once saved, always saved. So let's start with the first part of this question. Is it about the Israelites? Is it all about Israel? Well, yes, it's about the Israelites. It is all about the Israelites. Now, we have to understand that we're dealing with a power that far surpasses our understanding. And when we're talking about this power, we cannot fathom or imagine how this power put things in existence, right? In fact, we as human beings don't even understand. You have, people in modern medicine are so-called scientists who are trying to figure out what and give name to certain things that they know not, right? They will say, okay, well, we call this amino acid because we understand by study that this is what melt, the food inside the stomach and, blah, 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 and all different type of thing they're stipulating, right? And they feel that they have studied and understand this. So scientists are coming with information telling you that they have figured things out, but they are not, that they're figured things out in some way, which is not, true, right? They haven't found the recipe for a simple eye. But what is it again, Mr. Scientist, Mr. Professor, Mr. Wiseman, who sit down and study academia and you have all these accolades to prove yourself in society? What is the ingredient for one ear follicle? Can you give me that? Can anybody give me that? Can any scientist out there give that to me? Can you give me the ingredient for the human skin? Can you give me that? Wait. Can you give me, Mr. Scientist, the ingredient for a simple tooth? Oh, that's too much. Okay, can you give me the ingredient for your fingernails? Can you give me that? They can't, can they? You understand what I'm saying? This power that put all things in existence knows everything about you, in and out, knows your beginning, your ending, knows what you would do, where you would fall to, where you would fall, where you would die. He knows that you wouldn't take the information because he had made you that way. Now, when the Most High chose Israel, was it by default? He chose Israel. Why? Because Israel has proven by his creation and what he wanted Israel to do are these group of people are the people that came out of this particular person or groups of. He knows what these people would have done. So let's put it this way. When the Most High decided that, okay, you know what? I've created man and I have turned my face from them and I have looked in the earth and I have seen none worthy except for one person. I have watched them all, my creation, and all of them have taken a different road. But there is one that I've seen each time. He's trying to remember me. He's trying to think of me. The others are concerned with going to parties, going to the club, driving fancy car, hanging out, going on the town for the night, making money, having different women, all these things, and these men. Oh, and they, guess what? They don't have the time to think, oh, God is not here. Let's make a statue. We want something to see. Faith. What is faith? I can't deal with faith. I need to see something that I'm saying is God. Right? So they create a statue for themselves to worship. But there is one person who knew that there is something there. The Most High chose them. It wasn't when he made his decision or his choice or when his election, he didn't chose two persons. It was an individual that was chosen by him out of many people, and this one individual produce other individuals, and out of these individuals, as they are family members, he told them, he said, those of them who are worthy, because I have loved you individually, your seed, anything that descend from you which is good, I will give your blessing as well. And I will keep my promise that I have for you with them also. Very simple, right? He said he would establish himself through them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And he will be a God to them, and they will be a people unto him. The other people did not care. You understand me? Prior to the early centuries, none of these people who lived during the time and the reign of Israel cared about being a part of them. Nobody cared. Everybody was doing their paganistic work, hunting, doing whatever they do, believing in what God they believe in. Israel had their own God, as everybody else around them had their own gods. Nobody cared. Who cared? But because Israel fell from grace, these newcomers find it as an opportunity to go in and to claim their birthright, saying that they are the people, and to change the narrative and history and time, thinking that they will get away with this. But because of this great power, and because these people, right, they are so bold, right, that they attempt to do such atrocity in the presence of the Creator. They attempt to do this. Why? Because they don't believe in God. Because if you believe in something and know that this power, this great power, is coming to deliver these people, and you know that whatever this power says is going to happen, it's going to happen. And if there is a prophecy that they're going to be awoken at some point, that means they are going to awaken. You would be in fear to even attempt and try to do that, unless the Most High harden your heart, right? Because he cares about his people, and he's going to use you as an example to show them, to show his people his power. You understand me? Just like he did in Egypt to Pharaoh and his people. Said, you know what? I'm going to harden his heart because I want my people to know how much I have loved them. I'm going to defend them. I'm going to show them how mighty I am. I'm going to exhibit my power to them, unlike no one has ever seen those things before. Only the Israelites have seen the power, the true power of the Most High. No other nation have seen it. Those who have seen it become victim and die from it. He said, you know what? I'm going to kill all your firstborn. Not only that, he delayed everything just to show Israel, see, I'm going to show you who I am. I'm going to show you my power in Egypt. I'm going to kill all fear of firstborn. And every time he resisted, there was a judgment. Because the Most High didn't want him to, okay, we could take and leave. No. He created every man. He set them up the way that he wants. So when he chose Israel to be a people unto himself, it's because he found goodness in Israel. He found something in them. He said, these are the people that are going to carry on my works in the first place. Because guess what? When he created man, you had the angel that tried to challenge the Godhead. And because of that angel who become corrupted, you understand me? Think that he could change the plan. This is why the Most High said in the last days, he's going to write the laws in their hearts. So therefore, Israel won't be lost again. They would know, each of them from the young to the old, said the old don't have to teach the young, neither do the young has to teach the old. They all would know what the law is. So this is the last covenant that they will be written in their hearts. You know? So it's all about them. He said the world was created for your sake. The Messiah said, because you're not of this world, so you're not accepted by the people here. So you have to realize why you've been hated by other groups of people here. He said they don't love me. They hate me and my Father, so they will hate you also. Haven't we seen that? What proof do you need again to know this? Many people around the world, in every nation, hates you. Hates you melanated people. Ask them why they do it. Ask the person, why do you hate it? I don't know, I just don't like you. Can't give you an answer, can they? The Most High has put it in their heart to hate you, so that the prophecies will be fulfilled the way that he planned it, not the way that men planned it, or what men do. You think he didn't know that? He said at a certain time in Revelation, if you read it, you understand? He said, I know thy works, thy tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Why are you rich? Because the inheritance of the kingdom is for you, your descendants. Blaspheme are those who say that they are Israelites, Jews, but are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. He's telling you that there was a people who would do this. The Messiah was explaining this, that there were people who would have come and challenged and tried to take this place, saying that they are his people. But then the Most High said he will drive you to jealousy with these people, because they're going to be on top, and you will be what? The tail. And you will see them succeed and wonder why you can't succeed. Do you understand? So it was very clear in the book that everything was for you. When the Messiah come, he said, before the Messiah come, he said, I will rise up a horn in David. You know, usually a horn, it means someone exalts, right? A king, someone in high position. So they use the word horn, mean, you know, the cow horn is up here. It's showing you that someone of great heights and power and authority there. So the word horn is used. He said that he will raise up a horn in David to save his people. Then the Messiah came. He said, I came but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Not only that, he said, you're an holy people unto me. I have chosen you for myself. I have not dealt so with anybody else. As for the other nation, I have not known them. They don't know me. I do not know them. Means that not because he created you, he communicated with you. He communicated with Israel. He gave laws and statutes to Israel. And he told them to keep the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. And if you transgress the law, that means you commit sin. So sin is transgressing the law. So Israel are the only ones who can break the law because it was given to them, not anyone else. So everything is for them. Now, as we can say, as there was a woman who went to the Messiah, and because I think her daughter, her son, one of them were sick badly, right? And she went to him and she was begging him, and the prophets were telling her, oh, get this woman or run this woman away. And he said, I can't take the children bread and give to the dog, I have not sent, but for the Israelites. But this one was persistent. As you said, you want to know if there is salvation for the non-elected, right? Salvation can be there for people, but you have to understand. You have to understand that when you begin to embrace who you are and begin to find the Creator on your own and through your own consciousness, this is when salvation can come, because you're going to pleasurize something or steal something and think that you're going to utilize it. Do you think that the Most High, who gave the law to Israel, because you studied the law, that He's going to listen to you? He didn't give it to you. How could you claim that you're a part of a Chinese family when you're not even Chinese? So even when Christians say that they're grafted in, they are grafted back into the fold. You cannot be grafted into something that you were not a part of before. The Israelites, all of them, family, auntie, uncle, cousin, niece, nephew, they are all family members. This has to do with bloodline. You understand me? And the bloodline descendants of these people, all of them are melanated people. It's not all black people. Learn this. Not every single black people on the planet is Israel. There are different groups of people. The standard creation of the Most High and the people that live on the earth, the inhabitants of the earth, are all melanated people. The other groups and new people that you see that rise up in the 1400s has nothing to do with this. They're just in charge now, a part of the Gentile race. And the Bible said Jerusalem will be trampled down by the Gentiles until the fulfillment of the Gentiles. So there's a time that they have, and when this time is up, it means that it's finished. Do you understand me? So we have to learn this. We have to learn this, knowing what the truth is, if we're trying to find ourselves as a people. So yes, the world was created. If you read and go back in the Bible, and we're gonna start going into scriptures and give you guys, but I'm telling you, the Bible, to go to heaven. When John went there, he said there was 12 doors in heaven. Right? 12 doors in heaven, the place that everybody's dreaming after death or after leaving this earth to go for eternal salvation and peace, for tranquility, for the luxury of an everlasting life, right? Embodied with gold and all whatever imagination you imagine how wealth and peace will be for you. This place called that they call heaven. The Bible tells you who heaven is for. The Bible tells you who heaven is for. Who is heaven for? When John went to heaven, the Bible says there are 12 doors there. And on those 12 doors, names were written on the 12 doors. And guess what the name was on the 12th door that exists in this place that everyone is seeking to go? The names of the tribe of the house of Israel are written on each of those doors. So then you have to say to yourself, if you are not a part of the tribe of Israel, you cannot enter this place. You cannot go through any of those doors. It means that if an Israelite died and this is the place, then he has to go through the door, which is like, for instance, Judah. So all the Judahites would go through the door, which is all the Judahites is. That's their place in heaven. Nobody else have a place there. The Bible even tell the angel, when the angel was measuring, when the New Jerusalem comes, said, don't measure, see that thou measure this not. It is given to who? The Gentiles outside of the kingdom. They will not be inside there. They would not be inside there. So we have to understand that. So when you say if there is salvation for other groups of people, they may be. We cannot give that to you. If any nation out there wants to even get close, wants to sojourn or to live among the Israelites, they must learn from the Israelites. They must follow the law, the statutes and commandments, and do all things that the Israelites do. They must do that. The Most High doesn't seek for them to do it. The Most High in His holiness and glory do not seek for any nation outside. As they would say, Paul went out to this and Paul went out to that, and John 3:16, and for God so loved the world, He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believe, and on all of these nonsense, that the Most High don't sit down and say, oh, I want my people to. Come on, be dealing with a power that is far greater than men. Doesn't feel empathy or sympathy for anyone if He don't want to. But what do you think He did to Israel when Israel sinned? He punished them. What do you think He did for 40 years in the wilderness? He said, all of you will die here, and only your children will inherit the land. What do you think He did when He went into Egypt and said, you know what, I'm going to kill all your firstborn? What do you think He did when He went into Sodom and Gomorrah and see the whatever they were doing there? He said, you know what, I'm going to destroy this whole place with everyone. What did you think He do when the flood of Noah? Did you read it? He said, okay, they want to do all these abominable things. I'm going to kill every one of them. What do you think? What type of God do you think you're looking for? Some gay and joyful God that jump around? No. This is why He gave Israel laws and said, listen, you have to be a holy people. My presence cannot be around you if you're not holy. I cannot protect you if you're not holy. So you have to heat a certain thing. You have to do a certain things. Even break it down in the dietary law in Leviticus. Listen, you have to heat this. You can't heat this because this is unclean. On the things that are unclean, you have to stay away from those things. And you have to do the things that are clean so that my essence and presence can be around you. Even when Moses went up into the mountain to get the commandments, he told Moses to warn the Israelites before to put barriers around the mountain and tell them not to cross the barrier because they're not holy enough to be in His presence, because they will die. All of them will die. When they were going through the wilderness, there was a cloud above them, protecting them from everything. And He told them, He said, listen, if any man has to use a bathroom, right? Well, apparently He didn't use bathroom, but any man has to do that, has to stay away from the camp. You cannot do it nowhere close to the camp. It's very important why He said you're a holy people unto Him. And you shouldn't be eating pork and shrimps and crabs and all of these other things. We have to maintain that. You can't be holy, say that you're holy, and you're blending in back with something holy. Are you crazy? When you're polluted. Just imagine. It's like you are it's like you're washing a piece of cloth, right? And it has dirt inside of it, right? And there's a clear glass of water and you put this cloth inside. Each time dirt inside, what's going to happen to it? It pollutes the clear water. But when you wash all the dirt out, right? This is becoming holy, getting rid of all the dirt, and then you put that in the water. Guess what? The color of the water do not change. Because now you become one with this water. The water could flow through and there is no pollution in you. It could go through the fibers, through and through the fibers without being polluted. That's what holy is. It's not you filled with all kind of disease and nasty things that you do in your life and believe that you're holy. And you're going to go somewhere holy. Are you crazy? For the water and for the Holy Spirit to fill you, you have to be completely holy and clean. You can't be that filthy piece of cloth that contains dirt and muck inside. And each time you go into this holy place, you're polluting it with your sins and your abominable thing. No. Every ounce of dirt within you, within that material, has to come out completely. So that when it goes into this clear, this pure glass of water, there is no pollution. It doesn't change the color of the water. It becomes one with the water. That's what holiness is. So yes, it was created for the Israelites. It is about the Israelite. If you read the book, it tells you the promises, the giving of the law, the commandments, all of these things, the adaptation, everything is giving to Israel in the last days. It's them. That's what it's about. Unfortunately, today, because other people have been taught or been indoctrinated with a different teaching, they believe that they're a part of this when they're not. And it's sad. It's sad for them. If they don't learn the truth before that time come, there is no hope for them. There is no hope for the other nation when you have these nations who, you have their kids, and you didn't tell your kids before you die that, you know what, we did wrong. You didn't tell your kids that, you know what, the leprosy, I had leprosy, my great-grandmother had leprosy. It wasn't me, but they had it, and it was passed down to me, and I have it. And this is not how we're supposed to look. No, it's not. They didn't do that. They lied and said, yes, this is the standard color that we're supposed to be. To their own children that they care about, their own children that they love. Do they truly love their children, that their children have to go through this? That instead of teaching them what the truth was, so that their children give them a chance for salvation, they didn't do it. Because they don't care. They have never seen the power of the Most High. So they don't care. They think it's a joke. They have never seen it. So they're not fearful when it comes to that. You know who fear the power of the Most High? The Israelite. They will always say, oh, no. We have to go to church. This is why they're trying to be a part of something that they think is spiritual. And they're adapting to different religion and religious practices. Because they believe that there's something there. They know in the fiber of themselves, something is there. This is why there's so many black churches all over the place. Because they believe that this is a way, and it's not. They've been taught this. This was something that passed down from their generation to them. And this is where they have to go back into themselves to realize that what they've learned was a lie, and they need to relearn everything that they know, or they think they know about what the truth is. For other people, there may be a chance. But how could you get a chance when you tell your kids lies about your identity and yourself? What changes is going to come? What accepting? Which God will accept you when you can't tell your kids that, listen, I'm white, but we're not supposed to be white. Right? We're supposed to be melanated, but we are cursed with the leprosy. That's who we are today. You can't do it because it's going to make you feel lesser than the people that you're trying to conquer, the people that you're trying to suppress. So you can't tell your truth to your family. Even on your dying bed, you can't tell your kids, oh, listen, I think you should blend with these dark melanated people because we're not supposed to be like this. There is a curse upon us. Give your children a way to salvation, but you can't do it. So what do you think is going to happen? The Most High is not going to stretch his hand to come to you. No, he didn't put you the way that you were. You chose that way because you didn't return. In your heart, you didn't return and apologize for what you did. You have never said that you were sorry. There is even a part in Revelation that said when they're in the judgment, before they said, we're sorry for what we did, they're going to curse God. In the end, I shall read that in Revelation. I'll give you those scriptures, the numbers, so you can read it yourself. They say that they will curse instead of saying, oh, forgive us, we made a mistake. They're going to curse him. So these people, there are no changes. There are no changes in them. They will never change. So salvation is for the Israelite. For those of them or those who are among them, you need to embrace who you are first. You can't love God when you try to divide yourself and saying that you're better than anything else. No. You have to learn yourself. Learn where you went wrong. Because that's what repentance is. Finding the very thing that made you corrupt in the first place and correcting it. If you had leprosy, then you have to go back to the root and find out, okay, how did I get this? How did my ancestors end up with this thing? How can I change this? And that's what you have to do. So it's going to be difficult for the outsider to accept this. As you can see, the societies around that is ruled by the Gentile race of people, none of them implement the laws in the book. They even tell you that the laws are not important anymore, so that you don't need to follow them. Because they know in the end, they're not going anywhere. And they know it's a liable chance that they will all be destroyed. And instead of saving their children and people, they want to live and enjoy their earthly days here. Live in luxury, having money, having wealth, doing all the wicked things that they want to do here. And when they die, they don't care. Whatever happened, happened. Oh, I'm not telling my kids that I killed someone and took over this house. You understand me? And that when the owner come back and find you in that house, whoever he finds there is going to kill them. I'm not going to tell my kids, guess what? I died. They have to figure it out themselves. But I'm leaving the house to them as if it is theirs. And then they will come and defend this house saying that my father gave this to me. It is my father's house. He gave it to me. So I have all right to be here. And then the owner for the house comes and said, no, this is my house. You're in my house. You need to leave. I'm giving you 3 days to leave. What do you think is going to happen? Those people who live in this house will set barriers, begin to put barrier up and get weapons ready to fight for this house. And what do you think the owner is going to do for the house? He's going to kill all of them and get rid of all of them. So I'm sorry for a lot of people out there, and a lot of these Gentile are people from the Gentile race. There won't be any salvation for you. Because you would not accept the truth. You would not accept what is truth. As the book says, the truth, or the spirit of the truth, which the world would never accept. Even with the woman who asked the Messiah for help, and because she said, okay, well, I won't give the children bread to the dog, but she said, even, a dog can get a piece of crumbs or whatever. Because of what she said, he found favor and said, okay, go, your child is healed. So that shows you, when you acknowledge who you are, that there may be grace. There may be some help for you. But when you don't, the Most High doesn't judge people because of looks or how you look outside. It's about what's inside and what your intentions are. He already knows what's inside of you, what you would do, what you would not do. So, of course, So a lot of them wouldn't be saved, but they will be there. And if you go through the scriptures, there's a lot of parts that tell you that they would be slave in the kingdom. Because they will be, for those of them who capture the Israelites and enslave them, the Israelites is going to do the same thing back to them. It's a repaying for what they did. So their children would be slaves in this kingdom, according to the Bible. So that would happen. So unfortunately for a lot of them, they won't accept the truth. So I'm afraid that they won't be salvation for them. They're just, the Most High will use them, or find a way to use them to destroy them, to prove to the Israelites how much He cares about them. A lot of them will die. Some of them will remain. Hope for you guys out there who have the Gentile race. I hope that you find the truth and begin to embrace yourself. Yourself, the way that God created you, and resonate with the Holy Spirit. If you don't, there is no hope. So I definitely hope that answer your question. Yes, my brother, we are the most hated. It's very common, And if you go through Deuteronomy 28 through 68, I've talked about this. You'd be a byword, will be hated among all nations, where He scattered us. So we have seen this happen. So this is why I keep reiterating about Deuteronomy 28 through 68. And you guys have to keep reading this. And when you begin to read this, then you begin to understand the truth about who you are. A lot of people know today because they're so included in the society that they spend little time to know about themselves or what's going on here. They want to live the life of the Gentiles, thinking that's the life for them. Because they're born in this place, in this society, they're influenced by the society. But I tell you, my friend, not to be influenced by what's happening here. Try to find yourself in the chaos. Try to find yourself. Because there is a God. And He is coming. One day He is coming. And pray that you're on the right track when He returns. So it's not about cars. It's not about career. It's not about these things for you. It's about who your Creator is. You think the Creator care about your career? You think the Creator care about you telling you, oh, you need to go to college and you need to find a better job. You need to become an educated slave on a plantation. You think it's about that? You think it's about that? Because that's what 90% or 99.9% of you think. It's about success. It's about you earning, whatever you can so you can be above the poverty line. And you teach your kids the very same thing. Guess what? You got to go to college, finish up, and get your degree and become a member of the society, right? Show your documents that, yes, master, I've finished this recipe. I've learned it T to T. Now, would you please hire me? Put me in a position so I can get a little more money than what I would regularly make if I don't have this. Right? Yes, master, can you put me in this position? That's what's happening now. Do you think that the Most High care about that? Of course, you would think, oh, God wants you to live and drive a fancy car. You think God think about that? You think the Most High, in His glory, think about your fast car, your rental car, or your finance car? You don't care about that. You don't care about your degree. You think He care about it? Is the degree about Him? Is it about Him? Is it about Him? It's not about Him. It is for your sustenance, not His. You're doing things for yourself, not Him. Did you do what He says? Did you do what He said? Did you do what He said? Did you love Him with all your heart, your mind, and your soul? No, you didn't. No. When your back is against the wall, then you say, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. When someone stick you up for your money to rob you, oh God, oh God, oh God, help me. When someone pull out a gun to kill you, oh God, oh God, oh God. Those are the first words come to your mouth, oh God, oh God. You want someone to save you. But the very person that you're looking for to save you have never communicated with Him. You have never talked about Him. You haven't felt proud to mention His name. You haven't felt proud to do His work, but you want Him to save you. It's like you're cursing someone every day. Okay, I don't care. He's there. I'm just thinking of me. It's me, right? But only when trouble comes around, you're looking for this higher power to save you, to be, to bring you to this golden place. No, doesn't work like that. If you cannot know this power when you're not in trouble, when you're in trouble, don't even try to know it, because you're not going to be saved. And as you can see that, majority of the people that died, what do you think? Do you think they didn't call on God? Do you think when Miss May or Miss Mary lie in their bed and they felt the spirit of death coming over them, that they didn't say, oh God, save me? You think they didn't do that? You think they didn't? But what happened still? They died. Do you think when James crashed at his accident and crashed and he was in a coma within his consciousness, he's not praying, oh God, save me, I want to live? Because he's looking back into the physical world just to come back to inherit and to gain control of those physical things that he had, and it worked for all his life. Do you think he's not asking God to help him? Do you think he's not? Do you think when Marie got sick and she felt pain through her whole body, aches through her whole body over and over, night after night, day after day, You think she didn't call, oh God, help me, Jesus, help me, Jesus, help me? And that's the time they know. That's the time they even considered. But what they're considering is not the right thing. Sorry to say. Do you think they don't all call this God, this Jesus person? And they all died in the end. They all suffered in the end until they die. Until the power of death overcomes them. So do you think the Creator himself care about your career? What you tell yourself? Because you're trying so hard to fit into a society that men created. Do you think he care about that? You think, oh, you want to see? That's what the pastor told you, right? Oh, God loves you. He wants you to be rich. And this is the idea. This is the idea they tell all the pastors, right? This is their common teaching in the churches. You know? We want you to be rich. We want you to have money. And he's deceiving you, taking all your money. You have to give him, and every other word you say, you send the bowl around, say, oh, collection time. Put some money inside of it. You know, do you think God don't care about you surviving here? Do you think that he cares about that? Men forge society. Men isolate themselves, build walls around themselves. You understand me? Put limit on the amount of food that you can get. Say they're selling you food, putting price tags on food. The very food that the Most High plant in this earth to feed the whole entire population of people. You understand me? They're the ones who came with this idea. You don't see what happened? The bird go out every morning. You ever see one bird crying, oh my God, I don't have any food to eat? They go around and guess what? Food is provided for them. They eat. They go back home in the evening. They get up the next day and they go hunt for food. That's their duty. And they serve God. This is why when disaster is coming, they know. You don't. The dogs, the flies, the ants, all of them know. Say, okay, there's a flood coming. We need to leave. At a certain time, you see they leave, not one single fly around, not one single, because none of them is going to die. They didn't commit any sin. Those of the animal who died are those who you trapped in cages, who you have in pen, pigs that you tied up in pen, dogs that you had on leash. Those are the animals who face destruction because of you, not because of them. If they were free to go and wander as they please, they would leave. They would not get caught in your judgment. They will leave. All the animals that die are those who were chained up, tied up because of you. So you have to know, you have to know yourself. God don't care about what you tell yourself that you want to earn, and because you're career driven and you're smart and you feel that what are you contributing? With your career again? What was it again? And who you're contributing it to? Oh, it's all about your survival. That's all it is. You are surviving, and you have what you say that you want within this community or within the society that you live, and you're happy. That's your happiness. God is not your happiness. And you wonder when a lot of you guys get older, then you try to go to the church because you believe the church is a place for salvation. So you begin to go to the churches saying that, oh, Jesus now see him, because guess what? You're getting older, weaker, and you know that it's time, soon your time to die and to go back to the other place where you once came. Now you want to pray. Now you want someone to save you. So they went to the church, they go to the church, and then the pastor tell you, oh, everlasting life. Because that's what you want. The everlasting life is not to do God's work. This everlasting life that you're seeking is to do what? It's so that you can sustain longevity in this physical world. So that you can fulfill your desires with materialistic things. That's what it is. That's what That's what everlasting life is for you. It's not about dying. You don't want to die. You don't want to leave your house, your beautiful home, flat screen TV, iPhone 13, 15, 16, right? Plasma phone. Huh? You don't want to leave that. Your gold earrings, your bracelets, huh? Your beautiful wife and husband, your car, your beautiful bed, pillow top bed. The comfort that you gain here on the earth. Read Ecclesiastics, Proverbs. The book tells us that all is vanity, vexation of the spirit. What it is for a man is to eat and to be merry and serve God. The duty of men is to serve the Creator. That's the duty of us. So I am sorry for a lot of people who are not going to make it to this place that called heaven. And of course, a lot of people misunderstand when this Bible said, you die and you go to heaven. Man, listen, people don't go to heaven when they die. Get that out your head. There's a place called Sheol, right? As I said before, you cannot go to this place, especially. You're not cut from the sin that you did in this earth. Even in the spirit, you think that you're separated once you die in the physical. It's a physical commit. No. The spirit have power over the physical. Remember that. It is the spirit that gives the physical life. It is the spirit that is the consciousness. It is the spirit that do all works. Utter words, sound, thoughts. All of these things is from the spirit. It's not the physical. The physical is just a suit that the spirit lives in the physical planes. Once you shed the suit, all the works and deeds doesn't go away. It is still with you. You cannot take your negative things and say, oh, well, I did all this, then you're going to this holy place. As I said, if this piece of cloth is filled with mud, you cannot put this in a clear glass of water. You have to clean it. It have to be cleansed. It have to be cleaned multiple times. There's a process to cleaning this before you can achieve that. Before you can even go into this glass, this clear, beautiful water, and then there's nothing polluted in you. You cannot go there. You will never go there. And that's how it works. Can you explain what's the difference between revelation and prophecy? Well, revelation and prophecy. Revelation means to reveal. That's what revelation is. It means that to reveal, right? So they basically, the revelation is based on what the Messiah is and the judgment they're revealing. They're telling you things that are to come in a certain time, what's going to happen. Are they giving you a picture of what is going to happen when the judgment comes, right? Now, you have prophecies. Prophecies has to be fulfilled. It means that there are things that are talked about that has to happen a certain way that the Most High said that it would. So that's what prophecy is. So prophecy has to be fulfilled. It's an accomplishment, a completion of something that was talked about before, right? Or, and the Most High in his consciousness, his holiness, he doesn't lie, right? He can't lie, right? This great knowledge and understanding and consciousness cannot lie because it put all things in place. And with this power, it doesn't make mistakes. Do you understand me? This is why when the Bible says, before any of my word pass, meaning if I should lie at any point, it means that everything has to start over. Now you have to understand, with our simple mind, how do we define and break this down? Because this consciousness that create thoughts, the ways that every single human being thinks, this consciousness knows in, out, beginning and ending of it. It put, this energy, this consciousness put all things in existence. It knows everything. It's impossible for it to lie or to make mistakes. Do you understand me? This is why I said before, one of what I say go the other way. How could it go the other way? It's impossible, right? It's impossible that if you have power to know what tomorrow will be, that you would make a mistake, right? If you have the power to know that tomorrow I'm going to die, can you avoid death? Of course, because you know at what time and which direction to turn to go away from this. This is why this power, this consciousness cannot lie at no time. Whatever it says is going to happen. It has to come. You understand me? It has to happen. Cannot change. Nothing can change. So this is why the prophecy were set up. That's why this consciousness, this power, which is the creator, could tell you, listen, 20 years from now, and this specific day, a specific day, which is the 12th of December, this is going to happen. No later, no earlier. This specific day in December, on the 12th, this will happen. This is how accurate this power is. This is how accurate it is. Notice when the Bible speaks about the prophecies, about the Israelite and the last days, it spoke about things that will happen. Things that are going to happen, a series of things that will happen that you will be able to pinpoint and see and recognize that there is a time coming and that this truth is aligned with what was written, right? So you will see it and said, oh, it spoke about this. We're seeing it. It means that people have to acknowledge this around, would know that, yes, I have read this. This is there. Because guess what? The Most High Word cannot, his word cannot go unnoticed. As if there's a prophecy that is spoken of in the book, many nations around will know of it. They will know when the time comes. Oh, so these are the people that the book were talking about. Oh, so this is the last days when he said nation will fight nation and things like this begin to happen. This is what he said when famine will come. All of it will come to the understanding of the people that are living on the planet. There is no mistake in his words. There is none. So we have to distinguish the revelation, which John revealed certain thing about the Messiah. He was telling us, okay, this is what. So revealing is like you go somewhere, you travel to, say for example, Guyana, right? And you go into the jungle and you have seen some things that people thought about, they didn't know. You have seen that. And you could tell and relate this information to your people from where you came from. Said, oh yeah, I went here. It would be more of a discovery, right? Like when Columbus came here and into the Americas and said he discovered. Didn't say discover didn't mean uninhabited, right? He came and he see something new that they never knew before. They probably thought that something was there, but now there's confirmation that it is, right? So if you go into this jungle and you see all these things, you could relate it back to your people. Say, yeah, listen, I've seen this and this is there and this is there. That's a revelation. You're revealing things to them that they didn't know. Or things that they probably read about is being revealed to them. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what revelation is. Prophecy are things that talked about to come. Things that is unknown to people, right? But it is coming. You understand it? And it have to happen, right? There is no changing in it. As revelation will, it's immediately what you have seen, what you have witnessed with your eyes you're talking about. If you read the book of Revelation, John, he's talking about he saw one, unlike the Son of Man, between the seven candlestick, and he had a girt on around his waist, and his feet was like unto fine brass, and his hair was like pure as wool. And these things you were seeing these things and talking about them. So it was they call it a revelation. It was things that was being revealed to him. right? So that's the difference between it. So prophecy continued, it has to be fulfilled, cannot change, right? And it's specific. The time that is given is specific. Notice that the Most High said in the last days, right? It's this prophecy, right, is specific but kind of not, right? Because there's not a time stamp on it, right? Because he said that he will come like a thief in the night. No one shall know the hour or the minute. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's a prophecy because he's going to surprise everyone. He said it would be like the day of Noah, when everyone has been given in marriage, having, you're probably going to what? Party, great adventure. You and your friend them going to hang out at the beach, smoking, getting high, bring some girls on the beach, and you're going to different places and you're having fun and you're getting drunk. Then he's going to come and surprise everyone. So like the days of Noah, this last day is going to be. So this is why you have to be on good terms with yourself. You have to be on good terms with God. You understand? Because when this day comes, there's no turning back. Oh, I need another week. You should have gave me a week before you came. No. You have to be on good terms now. Learn what you need to learn now. Do what you have to do now. Not the time when you come unexpected, as you talk about the virgin with the candles, right, with the lamp. And there was one who didn't buy oil to put in the lamp, right? And then when the time, these virgins stop and decided they're going to rest, and then the voice called that the bride was coming. Now, she's begging them for oil. They said, no, you have to go back, go get your own. And when she went to go get their own, guess what? The bride come, and the other virgins went with the bride. And guess what? When she came back, the door was closed. She got left out. That's kind of what will happen to a lot of people, because they didn't put oil in their lamp and prepare for that time. When they're deciding to get oil, it's too late. You're not called upon. It means that the door is closed and you cannot get in anymore. It's late for you. So yeah, I hope that answered your question, about the revelation and the prophecy. As I said, people, this is the naked truth, and we're here to edify whatever it is that we can, for everyone out there. It's, we have to know ourselves, man. We have to do that. And as I said, we have to love the Most High with all our hearts, our mind, and soul. And He has to be the priority. And when I said priority, He have to be the priority. Not what we think is priority to us, based on our survival, based on how we live within the community or the society that we live in. We kind of standardize everything based around that. As a lot of us, we don't, a lot of us, our ideas are not, cultivated, right? Why? Because usually we didn't get time to ourselves to develop who we truly are or what we are. Like you have many people today, right? They go out and they say they're doctors, lawyers, different things that society requires, right? But most of those, what you call gifts, or what they went to learn, it's not original to them, right? It's not a part of who they are, right? That's not really what they wanted to do. They did this, they went to learn this recipe because it's about survival. It's about gaining, and financially gaining more to sustain themselves within the society. So they, most doctors become doctors not because it's something they love to do, but because, being a doctor, you'll get more pay, right? Being a teacher, you'd get more incentives, you get more of whatever it is you think it's easier, whichever recipe for you is, you think within your time, right? That you think, okay, this is good for me. So this recipe, I'm going to study this. Some people study psychology. What is psychology? I don't even know. But some people go there because it's simple and they don't want to spend a lot of time just sitting down there absorbing all these information, X, Y, this time, that. Nobody wants to go through that. If it was simple, they would have learned it more. But they start to measure the money. How can I make more money? This is all it's about. How do I make some more money? I want more money. And that's what it is. So nurse will become nurse because it's profitable. Lawyers will become lawyers because it's profitable. Mechanics will become mechanics because it's profitable. They're not born mechanics. They're learning a trade. It's just a recipe, right? You're learning it because you want to function in a society, and through your function, you can earn more profit so that you can sustain yourself and your family here. This is the life. So we tend to adapt to everything around us. We tend to follow other people. Whatever other people do, we do it. You wasn't born smoking. But because you come and you see Paul and Peter and them hanging out on the corner smoking, it looks cool, right? So you, at one point in your life, is going to try that. It's just like marriage. What we know of marriage today and what it is and how it should be is what we have learned based on, romantic films, movies, and our surrounding, our society. We have seen Susan get married. Oh my God, the wedding was so nice. They play music, everybody dance, eat cake. She wear this beautiful dress and jewelry. And young girls seeing this, they fantasize about this. They begin to imagine this. So they want the same thing. It's not because if that didn't happen and it was an influence in their mind, it would have never been that way. So most of the time, they're programmed based on what's happening around them in the society. So they want to get married because of that. Ask them what is the true meaning of that. Everybody wants to do it because, there's a lady who did it before me. My mother did it. My sister did it. My friends did it. So I want it too. So we kind of follow each other, this link, right? We keep following each other. None of us question anything. We don't say nothing about it. We just know, okay, they do it, we're going to do it. They wear clothes, we wear clothes too. If everybody naked, then we're all naked. So we kind of just, follow this trend. None of us seems to break away from this mold. And that I think is the problem. So we have to get into the truth. We have to get into what we have learned. We have to unlearn the things that we have learned, the things that are corrupting us and preventing or blocking our mind from seeing what the truth is. We have to get into that more. And that's why we're here on the Naked Truth, to kind of edify these things and to give you context, a lot of context. As you know, we're not here to sugarcoat. We're not here to care for your feelings and what you feel. And we're not here for your opinion. We're here for the truth. We're not here for opinion, or your opinion is what you think, is what you analyze in your mind. We're talking about the truth, the logical truth. So if you don't have that, you keep your opinions to yourself. And that's what we're doing here on the Naked Truth. And I hope today I was able to give you guys out there, everybody that tune in, some context, and some truth so that you can think about. And don't forget, I told you over and over again, this book, right? Deuteronomy 28 through 68. Please do read that. I hope all you guys can take this book and open the pages and read from Genesis to Revelation. And do remember, as I told you before, not everything in this book is true. Do not take this book for face value. Read with understanding. Use your common sense. that which God has given you. Institution was never around when God created you. He gave you knowledge. You have this innate ability inside of you. When you begin to learn yourself, you begin to see all things. The consciousness, the power that creates you know all things. Why do you think that you wouldn't? Why do you think that you couldn't know all things that you want to know? But you cannot know it if you're embracing something else. You have to embrace that very essence that gives you life. You have to give back to that essence that created you and give you knowledge and understanding and wisdom to do what you do. Look at the great things that you see men, it may be great in your eyes, right? That you see men do here. Anything is achievable, my friend. Everything is possible with the Creator. I want you guys to know that. Actually, no. We don't talk only about the Bible on this program. We do talk about many other different topics as to do with anything in life here. Because we're dealing with truth, and truth is not just, doesn't bear weight alone on the Bible or on spirituality. So we're basically talking about everything has to do, with us as a people, human interaction. We're talking about science. We're talking about race. We're talking about history. We're talking about every basic thing, relationship. Stress. People who have problems. All of these different topics we will be addressing. And addressing them, as you can see, the title of the show, the program is The Naked Truth. We're definitely talking about, there's no sugarcoating. This is one truth, that wears no clothes. Wear no clothing, so it has nothing to hide. It has no pride. It has no face. It just speak whatever it's on its mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing here. And so we do talk about many different things. If there is a topic and anyone wants to leave any questions about anything that they feel is a topic that kind of having them thinking and they want to talk about it, of course you can always leave us a comment or message and we'll definitely tackle that on this program or any other or the next time we're on. You can leave whatever message you want. Relationship, stress, how to build a relationship, what marriage is, and how to strengthen your relationship with your sister, your brother, your mother. All these different topics we definitely can talk about and try to find some resolve. So that's what we do here on the Naked Truth. So we're definitely looking forward for more people to as the program grow and we expand more and we do more promotion and get the program on different platforms. We definitely will be streaming on other platforms as well. So we have to be thankful for our listeners and those who interact with us each and every Friday here on the Naked Truth. We are grateful for you guys who have spent some time with us and commit yourselves to listening. It's a good feeling. Yes, how are you doing? We're good here, and so we're definitely we're feeling good, and the energy is always up. We thank you guys again. As the night has to come to a close as we start the other program after this. So AOL is coming up after this. I mean ATO is coming up. I'm saying AOL. ATO is coming up. Artists take over the airwaves. That's the program that's coming up after this. So we're here tonight. We're feeling good, and it's just it's just a good feeling, so that we can have a conversation with each other and try to, you know, establish the truth. So do remember, all of you, my friends, my family, people out there, do remember Deuteronomy 28 through 68. You can find the prophecy. You can find every information that puts you in the position of where you're supposed to be. So please do go and read that. And then we will have discussion at a later time about how do we get back to where we're supposed to be, and forget about the simple things that you have a lot of groups out there who claim to have ideas of how to wake up the children of Israel. Being waking up in the wrong way, it's not going to help you. You have to know exactly who you are, what you are, to stand up for what you know is right for you. So you can't really just say you wake up, or you want to wake up because somebody tell you to wake up. It has to be in you to do so. It has to be in you because you're find certain truth and said, "Oh my God, it's like you're doing something wrong," and somebody pointed out to you, and then you analyze and realize, yes, I was. Now I have seen this. Now I'm ready to change this. It's all within you. So you have to become what you are. So when you find the truth, once it resonates with you, you will see and you will know how to deal with that. So once again, my people, my loving members, as the night should this program come to a close, we will definitely we'll be taking phone calls. As you know that we do have the number there where you guys can call in at some point and we can have a conversation. So ATO is coming up. That's the next program. Stay tuned, where we turn the energy up a little bit more and vibe and get into the musical part, entertainment part of it. But knowledge is power, man. And that's the first thing. We have to take advantage of that. Waking up the community, helping our community to be better. So please, do your due diligence and try your best to study and to see where you can find and raise up some questions. Dig up whatever question you want and prepare them for us next time. We're here to answer all your questions based on all levels of life, right? So do get your questions and let's chat and discuss them. See where we can resolve them here on The Naked Truth. And we're here, man, until next time. As the time comes, stay tuned. ATO is next here on Skunk Age TV. And we thank you, everybody in the chat. Big up on yourself. Until next time, we're here. And we thank you guys so much for staying with us here on The Naked Truth. So may the Most High bless you and you're going out and you're going in. Until next time, we will see you.